Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Friday, the 2nd of December, 2022, also known as the Callisto Protocol Release Marathon Day, because I played Callisto Protocol all day long today, and I'd like to give you my opinions on the game. Of course, I will be giving more in-depth opinions on the game tomorrow on the Level 1 podcast, but summarized, when I first started playing Callisto Protocol today, I was intrigued by the story. The gameplay elements were interesting because the melee combat is very, very different from pretty much any survival horror game I've ever played before. It definitely looked like they were going for something more challenging, where guns were not exactly the focus. And, you know, the first hour, you don't even really have a weapon or a gun to use outside of a melee weapon. So, that's what you're led to believe. Admittedly, a slower start. The game, you know, definitely kind of leads you in a little bit on the slower end. But the story is interesting. You know, the story of someone who is supposedly a freighter, you know, guy who drives cargo to and from planets, crash lands on a prison planet after being attacked by a bunch of terrorists / pirates, and gets arrested, even though he did nothing wrong, and becomes an inmate. Then all hell breaks loose, and the entire base gets overrun with these mutation creatures. I don't want to spoil the plot of the game, but it's interesting. There's an air of mystery. What's really going on? Is it something that was shocking or something that was planned? You know, what's happening? I don't know. At this point, I'm 5 hours in, and we don't have answers yet. But the ongoing air of, you know, what's going on, kind of suspense, is really cool in this game. The game gets better the more you play it. Basically, you go to different locations. There's different enemy types that show up that are very different from the original ones, faster ones, you know, mutations that actually become really powerful. You have to kill them quickly or else they become even more powerful. But you also get new abilities in tandem with the new enemies. For example, the telekinesis powers from Dead Space are in this game, only it's called the grip. It's a gun. It's almost like, I joked it was the power glove from Nintendo. You could use to grab things and throw things, okay? The game seems like it plays dramatically different depending on how you decide to do upgrades. If you upgrade your melee, then your melee is probably the way to go to fight everything. But you can also upgrade your guns. You can also upgrade the grip. So, again, how do you want to play it? Do you want to be beating the shit out of everything, dodging and attacking with the baton? Do you want to be shooting everything with various different weapons? Or do you want to be grabbing and tossing things? Think about it, right? Interesting. Good variety there. And what I would say is, after 5 hours, the game is challenging, but it's fair. Once you take on a challenge 1 or 2 times, and maybe you lose and you die, you kind of figure out exactly what the game is going for. I only have one complaint about the game so far. And the complaint is very simple. It's a checkpoint-based game. Even if you do manual saves, it just reloads you at your past checkpoint, which makes no sense. Why is there an ability to manual save a game if the manual save doesn't save where you're saving? Why would it warp you back to the last checkpoint? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It even reverts your inventory, which is stupid. So there was a few times where I was about to take on a room of tough enemies, but right before that room of tough enemies, there was like a resource room to the left, and I would loot the room, then go fight the tough enemies. Oops, I died. Respawn you 2 rooms back. Now you got to go back through the resource room and loot it again before you take on the room. And there was one room that was actually quite challenging because I kept trying to use an explosive canister and throw it at the enemies to kill them to save ammo. And I missed a couple times, and I kept dying, and I had to keep reloading the resource room. Just keep doing it. It's like, damn, this is annoying. I don't know why it's checkpoint based like that. It should have a manual save system, and it does not. It does not really work. So there were a few frustrating points during today's 5 hours of gameplay where I had to redo a room or two because of the way the game saves and loads. Outside of that, I like the atmosphere. I like the story so far. I like that it's developing. There's more coming. I like the air of mystery behind it. The gameplay elements are evolving as you play further and getting better, in my opinion, and I like that. At first, it was kind of slow with just the melee, but once you have weapons, once you have guns, plus the grip and everything, now it's getting way more interesting. And the lighting is some of the best I've ever seen in a video game. The lighting is creepy. You know, the emergency lights going around, the water reflection, you know, the lights coming off the water and creating this atmosphere and everything. Man, it's cool. So, after 5 hours, I really like it. And if you're watching the playthrough on demand, I hope that comes through in the videos. I'm playing, I'm like, I think I understand why the journalists didn't really like it and kind of panned the game in some cases. It's hard. It's not Dead Space, where all of a sudden, if you play it fairly, you have a million pieces of ammo and you can just unload on everything. It's definitely not like that. It's more catered towards being smart, survival, and almost like every room with multiple enemies, you have to develop a strategy to take on and defeat said enemies. You can't just run in like an asshole, guns blazing, and take everything out. And I think a lot of people aren't used to that. They're either used to the walking sim horror games where you don't fight at all, or they're used to the guns blazing horror games. They haven't played the hybrid that really, original Dead Space was kind of like that. Dead Space 2 and 3 became a lot more run and gun, while the first one was a lot more about survival and, inventory management and stuff like that. And this game is definitely like that. I like it. Sorry. I know some people maybe after watching other people play it and complain about it thought that I wasn't going to like it. I really like it. I don't understand why people are so nitpicky and so critical of games today. This game is in the spirit of a sci-fi survival horror. It has modernized parts of it, but it has parts of it that play like older school to add a challenge. There's nothing wrong with that. I told you my one gripe, the save system. So after 5 hours of playing the first day, I love it. I'm having tons of fun. I'm being told the game's between 12 to 15 hours long, which means, we'll be playing it on and off for another week and a half. I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm having tons, like I said, we're in new locations, exploration of all kinds of fun stuff. Thank you to everyone who attended. Thanks to anyone who supported. It was an overall pretty good day. For those who are watching on demand on YouTube, please remember, putting likes on those videos, leaving comments on this first batch of videos is critical to the success of the playthrough, and it helps this channel immensely, especially here on release day. This first week, all those early views I can get will help a ton. So anything you can do to help engagement-wise, please, by all means, thank you in advance to anyone who supports this channel in that way, okay? So, yeah, I didn't know what to expect after I read all the reviews. And, I didn't read the reviews. I skimmed through the scores and their complaints. I would think most of them are probably not valid. Maybe a few, but most of them, it's people being nitpicky about the game not necessarily being the easy, modernized shit that everyone's used to. And that's sad. That gaming journalists are going to, really drive down the metascore of a game that otherwise I feel is a really good game. Okay? Now, tomorrow, we're not doing Callisto Protocol. I just played it all day. We got some variety. So tomorrow it's going to be God of War Ragnarok returning to the first stream. And then the late stream is going to be Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, where I'm going to continue to use the SMG that I was using last time and get more attachments for it and do that. Okay? Callisto Protocol returns as the main gameplay stream on Sunday. And then Sunday night is actually the return of Pokemon Scarlet to the late stream. So, thank you all. Great premiere day. I cannot wait to even upload these videos so you guys can see them. Having a great time with the game, and I certainly hope that you guys will join me for more this coming Sunday. Of course, tomorrow we got some variety, so, I can't wait for God of War Ragnarok story. Guys, thank you so much. Have a good night, and I will see you all in the morning. Peace out.